Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today is day number 230 and I figured I'd give you guys an update on my hair transplant results since it's been a while. So here's how it looks from a distance. Everything's growing in and it just looks really good. Here's the right side. Oh, excuse me. And let me show you guys a close-up of the hairline. So everything's growing in really well. At this point, I'm not really seeing any new growth. I'm just trying to look for the thickening of hairs. And if you guys look, I used to have a little bit of thinning here where the hairs weren't really growing in, but you guys can now see that it's doing a good job of getting more dense and the hair is getting thicker. Everywhere else, it's growing in pretty well, and so I'm very happy. And in about 10 days, I'm going to be hitting my 8-month mark. And so, once you guys hit around your 10 months or 12 months, that's kind of like when you'll see the final results of your hair transplant. And so I'm kind of approaching the end of my hair transplant journey. In the beginning it was very, this time just wouldn't go by, and it required a lot of patience. But I just can't believe that I'm almost approaching my 8-month mark. And so, I'm just very happy with the results so far. I am still taking my vitamin D, fish oil, Biotin. I'm using Biotin shampoo, and a few days ago I actually started using this Reboost, also known as Propecia, and I just brought this with me here. But I've also been using the low-level laser therapy helmet by iGrow. Obviously I'm not going to be able to tell any difference because it's only been a few days. But the transplant itself, and based on these supplements that I've been taking, I haven't really had any side effects. And I think, it's been doing a good job of just helping me maintain my hair. Now, it's almost going to be, in a few months, it's almost going to be 1 year since I've had my hair transplant. And I'm very happy to say that I haven't receded anywhere as far as the original hairline. And so if you guys been following my journey, I got my hair transplant back in November 2016, and I lowered the frontal hairline by about 1 to 1.5 centimeters. And so if I were to shave my head, you guys would still be able to see the original hairline would be somewhere in the back here. But the doctor did a good job of, being very artistic with reconstructing the hairline and making sure that it was somewhat dense. But the thing about your first initial hair transplant, it might look good, but then you guys aren't going to be satisfied. There's a lot of people who end up getting second hair transplants because they feel like their density isn't thick enough, or they want to make their hairlines a little bit more natural. And that's why if you guys take a look at my hairline up close, you guys can still see that there's a little bit of gaps in between, and it's not at the density of a normal non-balding scalp. But that's just the way it is when it comes to hair transplants. You obviously don't want to overuse your finite number of grafts, and especially if you're doing FUE. If you do end up doing FUT, which is a strip, you can probably get about 3 strip procedures and get somewhere around 6,000 to 7,000 grafts, and then you can go for the FUE. But since I don't want any scars on the back of my scalp, and I wanted to keep the option of shaving my head later down in the future, I opted for the FUE, because FUE, as you guys know, it's going to be a lot of tiny miniature scars on the back of your scalp, and it's going to be less detectable than an FUT. The hairs, it's growing really nicely. The temples, if you guys have been following me, I did get these areas implanted as well, because my temples, or should I say the temporal points, were also receding. And they've been doing a good job. This side here, my left side, has been growing and looking a lot more natural than the right side. I don't know if you guys can see, but the hairs are still sticking out a little bit, and it is still coarse, but it's gotten better over the past few months. But that's not to say that the hairs are still a little bit thicker, and you know, it just feels, I guess it doesn't really seem to flow with the rest of the hairs. But if you cut it short, I don't think it's going to be an issue. But the longer that you grow out the hair, or in my case, I think it's going to be more noticeable. And also the frontal hairs, they are getting a lot better. They're not as thick and coarse as the hairs here. They're looking a lot more natural. But if I do end up getting a second hair transplant, this is something that I've been contemplating, because, you know, I just wanted to get more density into the frontal hairline and possibly lower it just a little bit and maybe close this in a little bit closer. But I might be ending up going back to Korea this year. I might also stop by Japan. And if I could, I kind of want to see how Replicel is progressing, but I still haven't really planned everything out yet. But hopefully, if everything works out, I'll be going back to Korea to get a touch-up. The other thing is, a lot of the hair transplant doctors, they end up giving you guys a touch-up after your first hair transplant, probably about a year or 15 months after your procedure. But yeah, as you guys can see, you know, overall it looks really good. I definitely look a lot better than how I used to before the hair transplant, and nobody really knows that I even had anything done. So yeah, it looks really good. I'm very happy. But you know, like I said, I'm almost done with my hair transplant journey, and there's really nothing else to add. But hopefully over the next couple months, or the next few months, I'm going to be able to see more density and see the hairs thicken up a little bit. I've also noticed that in the frontal hairline right here, I have this little piece of hair that actually is just starting to sprout. It's about 1 centimeter long, and it looks like it's vellus hair, but it's becoming, or turning into terminal hair. And so that kind of gives me hope that, you know, there is still some growth left, even at, you know, as I'm approaching my 8-month mark. And so I'm still going to be keeping an eye on it and just making sure that everything's turning out really good. But so far so good. I haven't receded, as I stated earlier, which is always good. You know, if I can maintain the hair that I have right now, I'd be more than happy. You know, I don't necessarily have to have more hair, but as long as I don't continue to recede or lose any more hair, you know, I think that's the goal for many people. I'm going to be 30 next year, so I'm kind of like at the age where, you know, it's a lot of people start seeing hair loss, and they start considering hair transplants. But if you guys have any questions, let me know. Feel free to subscribe, like my videos, and I'll keep you guys posted. I'm also going to be doing some other videos on hair transplant tips, some things that I wanted to discuss, some you know, frequently asked questions. And so don't fear to, you know, don't feel free, or don't feel afraid to email me if you have any questions. There's a lot of new people who's been emailing me about, you know, just kind of the basics of hair transplants. And, you know, I welcome any type of question. You know, there's no such thing as a stupid question when it comes to hair transplants. And the best thing to do is to reach out to somebody who's actually gone through this whole journey. And so use me as, you know, your resource. I'm here to answer any questions you guys have and to help you guys out. And so, yeah, feel free to shoot me an email anytime. I'm pretty good with responding within a day or two, or even within a few hours, as you guys noticed. And so, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll keep you guys posted, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Take care.